Hello, this is Juan. Welcome to OneOnian. Welcome to my second video. So I'm trying to get all these videos out um, as much as possible. In this video, I'm going to talk about who I am, what my value systems are, so you have a better understanding of who I am. Then also you can think about who you are, because knowing yourself is very important, right? Um, I think one of the tests to see if you're happy with yourself, if you're happy with your life, is are you willing to share with the world of who you are? If you don't mind, if that comes freely, then you're pretty confident, right? Then you're pretty happy with yourself. If you don't want other people to know who you are, then maybe you haven't found out who you are yet, or there's some hidden secret, there's some hidden things um, that kept you close, right? That you're not willing to share. It's a very good question to ask yourself to see how confident you are, to see how happy you are, to see where you're at in terms of this life journey, right? Some people using the word alignment, right? One of the things on this alignment journey is to know who you are, right? So finding who you are is very important. Today I'm going to share with you who I am. These are the things I've been thinking about for over a decade now, and I have a very short phrase. Who I am, it's abbreviated as PHUMK. That's PHUMK. P stands for passion, health, unity, moral, knowledge. And initially, when I came up with these terms, um, I didn't really put them in that particular sequence. I just want a catchy word for me to remember, right? For me to reflect, remember. But as time goes on, the sequencing in that particular order actually does make sense for me. So after 5-6 years of using it, um, I also mentioned about the sequence of the word, right? So P for passion, I put that in front of the health because sometimes to achieve what we want to achieve in life, we do have to sacrifice our life, our our health a little bit, right? So I believe if I believe on something, maybe I can go on without sleep because I have a huge burning desire to achieve something. So I put passion first. So finding your passion, finding your desire, finding your inner direction on where you want to go in life, what drives you, what motivates you, it's very important. I'll go more in detail in all of these in my later video, but today is more of a overall theme, right? Just kind of give you a basic idea of who I am. I'll go more in depth later. So passion first, know your direction, know where your burning desires. Um, a lot of things we go through life, if you don't have a burning desire, you don't know where you want to go. One of my friend unfortunately passed away last year. It's because he had everything, right? He had a very comfortable life. His parents are pretty well off, so he didn't really have to work that much. So what was missing from his life um, it's this inner drive to do something with your life. So without that inner desire, you really don't know where you want to go. You're gonna get more influenced by the environment in which you're in, right? In which you grow up, you live, your friends and family, and your current environment. Next thing is health. Um, you can't really do much without good health. So you gotta always take care of yourself. So the health for me is really four things: um, body, mind, soul, and energy. Right? Body, mind, soul, and energy. Most people don't talk about the fourth term. Um, I think it's very important. We're gonna have a separate video on energy. It's like our sixth sense. Um, everybody have five sense, but there really truly is a sixth sense. Um, we sometimes call it intuition, but how do you have a better intuition? I think a lot of that comes from energy, and I'll elaborate that a little bit later. So body, mind, soul, and energy. Body, you need a good body for you to have a good mind, for you to think. Then you need to able to think intelligently with clarity for your soul to manifest, right? I believe if you're connected, so if you connect with the world, if you truly understand everything with a lot of clarity, well, nobody really understands everything, but you can get closer, right? You can reach higher. So as you become more, lost my train of thought. As your mind becomes thinking clear, you become more connected with the world. Ultimately, I believe each one of us have goodness in us, have compassion in us. Once your mind becomes clear, that soul, that compassion will come out. Okay, and then when that compassion come out, when that inner soul start radiate, you will see it in form of energy that start radiating out. We'll talk about that later. Then the third is unity. We are a social animal. We got to relate with folks. So for me, unity start with I'm having a baby girl coming in March, just in a couple of weeks. So it's your small family, your wife, your daughter, then your family, then your friends, your maybe your group, sometimes associate with your nation, and human race as in general. I don't really like the label because it creates separation, but for now, I just say unity, right? You need some sort of belonging. You need some sort of group. And then the fourth is moral, right? We need a good moral compass for us to become moral beings, so we can better relate with one another. Then the last one is knowledge, right? Knowledge is the baby stuff for us to learn. You come to this world without any knowledge, right? As you grow, you obtain this knowledge, then also you start reflect, and then you can think for your own, and you can create new knowledge. So not only knowledge from the outside, from the environment, but then how do we become creative, having our own knowledge, right? I think that's an important part to be intelligent. We'll talk about intelligence later. My definition of intelligence is knowledge plus intellect equals intelligence. If you only have knowledge, you don't have intellect to leverage it. You're just you're regurgitating the same information, right? But knowledge, it is required, or it is needed for you to become more intelligent, because you need information to train your intellect. Okay, so PHUMK is passion, health, unity, moral, knowledge. And that is the value system that I have developed for myself over almost a decade now. And I truly believe PHUMK still to this day. Then the next acronym is SOUL, S-O-U-L. So PHUMK is who I am. SOUL is how I like to interact with my environment. Pretty much that means other people, right? Because in order for us to have more joyful life, we need to be able to relate to ourselves. We need to be related to other people, and that is a good value system, I guess, or principle for us to think about how do we relate to each other. So SOUL, S-O-U-L, it stands for spectrum, outward, unity, link. I know there's repetitive for the U, but let me just go to each acronym on what that really means. It's not very obvious if I don't explain it. So spectrum means everything in life it's more of a range, right? So if you talk to think everything in terms of relative terms. If you're talking to a baby, right, or people in terms of maturity level, that doesn't mean the older they are, the more mature they are. Sometimes people get become aged, but then not necessarily increasing their maturity level. So think about your audience, right? So whoever you're talking to may not be on the same level of whatever that subject you're talking to. So keep that relative term. So think everything as relative, as a range, as a spectrum, right? Spectrum of from here to here. When you talk to somebody, understand, oh, that's where he is at. By keeping that relative term, allow you to become more understanding, right? Allow you to come from. So, for example, all right, I'm gonna take an extreme example. Say a thief come to you, right? They steal the stuff, the pickpocket, steal your wallet, right? Normally, your emotion get the better hold of you. You become angry, right? Upset. Maybe you want to punch him, right? But if you keep in relative term, thinking, oh, maybe his background is not as well as we are. Maybe he's going through some hardship, so this is something he must do, right? So keep that in terms of that relative term. So also, this could be when you speak on a subject matter, talking to some folks. You maybe have a doctorate degree, you may be the subject matter expert, but you're speaking to somebody who's new to the subject. If they ask an ignorant question, right? They're not dumb, they're just ignorant about this particular subject. So this allows you to become more humble. So you can, instead of talking down to people, you lower yourself and you help them to understand. So spectrum means everything in life as a relative, as a range. I will go to a little bit deeper on that. Our word means when we talk about energy later, everybody radiates some sort of energy outside. It's like dropping a pebble in a pond and you see the wave kind of propagate out. But in order for you to radiate energy, you need to work the energy within, right? So whatever's inside of you, that will get radiated. So when I say outward, it really means working inward. So you have a better outward energy flowing out. We all want to be near people that are positive, right? In order for you to radiate that positive energy, your inner self has to be a source of positivity, right? If your inner self is negative, how are you going to radiate that positive energy? You can fake it, but it's not natural, right? Throughout OneOnian, my goal is to, it's my belief, once we cultivate our inner soul, our inner energy, even though you may be a negative person right now, even you may have a lot of fear right now, but once we see clearly, some of your fear will die down. Eventually, you will cross over to become a more positive person. Okay, so I'm never about covering up. I'm always about understand where you are in terms of your fear, in terms of know who you are on this on this relative spectrum of where you are, and then understand yourself truly. Okay, so so that's inward, outward. The third term is unity, right? So when we act with other people, we want to be able to relate. We want to have we can never do anything on our own, right? If we know who we are, we have that energy reading it out, we can attract people, right? So like-minded people will attract to each other, and you're gonna form some sort of unity. So unity is important. I think if you want to do anything that's impactful in our life, in this environment, you need some sort of unity. Okay, so I truly believe in unity, and that's why part of my vision for this channel, this video, is to connect with like-minded people, and people have shared the same ideas. And I think the world are so not compassionate right now. Everybody are driven by greed, power, right, and their own desires. We become just pretty more and more selfish than compassionate. I like to help tip that scale to tip back a little bit, okay? And then the L is actually stand for missing link. Missing link means, so communication is a big deal, right? In order for us to relate, we gotta be able to communicate. Just always understand there's that missing link. So understand that communication, you may not be able to connect, even though you think you know what you're talking about, or even you think you know what's coming out of your mouth, but you may not be received by the other person. So communication requires an idea or a word coming from you, right? From your thought, then it come out properly through your mouth, right, or through your body language, and then transmission and transmit over to this other person, and they receive it, they heard the right word, but then when they go through their mind, they also interpret the right meaning. And that's only one way. Then he or she, in order for you to have that interaction, he or she had to communicate back to you, right? So the inner process and the word, the reaction coming out of their mouth to you. So that two-way link. I wish it's as easy as sounds, but communication, the misunderstanding, I think has been the most important issue in our basic relationships. I want to spend some time talking about that missing link, that communication part. Okay, so the reason I have funk and soul, is I thought about it over a decade, and that's who I am. The funk is who I am. Soul is how I govern myself, how I associate with other people, right? How I relate with other people. So think about these two acronyms as my twin track, right? So if I ever go off rail or in a very down state, my thinking back to my value system, thinking about to my core belief can bring me back. Okay, wouldn't go through life with up and downs. It's good to have some sort of a track or guard, right? Bring you back to where you are. Not all of us have friends, parents that can help us bring back, but we really should rely on ourselves to bring ourselves back. Okay, so these value systems are my northern star, kind of guide myself on how do I live with myself, how do I interact with others. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. So one of the questions for you is, think about yourself, who you are, and what are your values. You're welcome to use any of my word, okay, any of my value system. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you.